Hi everyone. Some of you know that I wear many hats, and one of them is that I've been practicing and teaching shamanic journeying for the last 10 years. Shamanic journeying is typically performed by entering an altered state of consciousness through rattling or drumming, but other ways can be used too. And once in an altered state, you can access information with the help of your spiritual allies, such as spirit guides, power animals, or anyone else that shows up to work with you. So that's what I've been doing since the beginning of this pandemic, to gain some insight of what's going on for humanity during this, and to gain some foresight of what's still coming. Now, at the beginning, I only shared this with 2 people, and only another one recently, just briefly. But I now feel I want to share with others what I've been shown so far. So during my shamanic journey at the beginning of the pandemic, I was shown the earth having a dark hood being pulled over it, sort of gently, slowly pulled over it. And as it was being covered, I understood the earth to be going into a deep freeze. This was then to be followed by a slow thaw. And as the hood was being pulled over the earth, ice crystals formed over the earth. And they were sparkling white, and the ice was clear. And I didn't have a feeling that it was a bad thing. But this deep freeze was to last for a lengthy time. So that was stage 1 as we entered this pandemic. Then in early April, I was shown that humanity is now working with grizzly bear energy, going into hibernation. And while we hibernate, we can change, perhaps receive some wisdom and maturity, hopefully. But we'll be alone with ourselves in this hibernation and having to face ourselves, and all that entails personally and collectively. So the isolation is to serve a purpose. Now, as many of you know, grizzly bears are a threatened species, so like them, we have now become the threatened species. And we've all felt that deeply in one way or another, even if it wasn't in our conscious mind. So during this pandemic, we've been presented with an opportunity to gain some insight into what it's like to be the threatened species on the planet and how we feel about that. Coincidentally, grizzly bears hibernate for 5 to 7 months, which I found ties in astrologically to the planetary movements. But I won't go into that here. But before grizzly bears go into hibernation, their food intake increases to thousands of calories per day by the summer's end. And when bears emerge from hibernation, they don't immediately return to regular activity. For a few weeks, they don't eat or drink. And this is called walking hibernation. So hopefully you can see the overall correlations between what we've been going through with this pandemic and grizzly bear energy. Up to the breakout of the pandemic, humanity has been busily consuming resources at an incredible rate, and that's just become unsustainable. We've been heading towards a cliff for a while now, but many of us didn't really know what to do about it except to change things at a personal level that we could. But then the pandemic breaks out, so we're stopped in our tracks. And after consuming a huge amount, we've now been put into a state akin to hibernation because of this virus. Now, I was then shown that this hibernation time, the time of the restrictions during the pandemic, that was known about a very long time ago, and it was recorded on the Lascaux cave walls. And when I got that information, I had no clue what that was supposed to mean. So I looked around and found the Lascaux cave website, and I looked through all the cave art that was collected on that website. And in one of the caves, called the Shamanic Cave, I found a red bear sketched on the wall. Now, I still don't understand what that means, and I do expect that that will become clearer in time. But it was certainly a confirmation for me that I need to keep listening to the spirits. Now, that's how shamanic journeying works. You're shown something in an altered state of consciousness in the journey, and then given confirmation in ordinary reality. And that confirmation is very clear. There's no doubt about it. Now, I was then told that we're in a metanoia phase, and metanoia is where we can have a change of heart, a turnaround, and to face a new direction. Now, we individually and collectively are being faced with the decision to turn away from the darkness to face the light. And this virus has brought us down from the top of the heap that we placed ourselves on, brought us to our knees, leveling the playing field to show us that, yes, we have a place on the planet, but we have a proper place, and we must not overstep the boundaries of that place. We are equal to, but not more important than the flora and fauna of nature. So Grizzly Bear energy is supporting us now so that we emerge on the other side of the pandemic with some weathered and grizzled maturity to walk the wise path. So thanks for joining me. I'll be back next time with Dancing Up Big Medicine.